Hello again, and welcome to Crime and Music. I'm your host, Brian J. Kinsley, and with me, as always, my friend Ben Rupel.
I think I should have went and got a beer.
We want to try again with beers?
No, we're good. We're good.
All right. I was like, we can go. We can always reset for beer. That's totally acceptable.
No, well, so since we're doing this at home, can I just yell at my kids and tell them bring me a beer?
If it works for you, try it out.
All right,
You do that while I say what I always say. Every other Wednesday, this man and I bring you a true crime podcast about people in and around the music business and their misadventures into law breaking. If you like that sort of thing, crime history, music history, murder mystery, and more, share with a friend, tell your buddies anywhere in the world. That would be great. So tell them to go over to crimeandmusic.com and say, hey, this is a podcast I like. I know you like music and true crime. I think you might like it too. So that would be wonderful. I'm sorry if it sounds weird. I'm talking over Ben making his beer orders while he's at home. But once again, I am back with Ben Rupel for another Crime and Music Corona cast, thanks to the magic of the internets.
I'm sorry, everybody.
I want him to bring me a beer too. That's the worst part. Is like I was like, can you ship it through the phone, like virtual beer?
Meatloaf.
Mom, need Pepsi.
All right.
Pepsi. So, hey, we're back again, everybody. I hope you get it up to the microphone there, buddy, so everyone can hear the pop top.
Everyone say hello to my daughter. What do you want, honey? You can make some quesadillas in the pan. All right. We had a guest here today, my daughter.
That was fun. I like having guests on the show.
Some dang quesadillas in the pan.
Go get your quesadillas. It's actually not too far off from our topic today. So I like how it all fits, guys. It always all fits here at Crime and Music.
We're going to have a mariachi band on here? Mariachi?
We'll get there.
All right.
Who's Steve Malucci? What are you talking about?
What?
There's a doctor on ER. All right. Are you ready? Are you prepped? Are you set? Do you have everything you need?
Yeah. Hold on.
Hey, that sounded nice. It's a pop top. Pop your top.
Pop top.
Pop your top, guys.
All right. Are we ready for my favorite part? My favorite part.
Guess the guest. Coming in hot with Kevin MacLeod and the Hustle Tune. Thank you. Guess the guest.
All right. Let's just start out with the first question, Brian. Do I know this person?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I like this. All right. Fire away.
This is a good one. All right. I feel bad. You got the last one real quick. You're on a roll. We haven't done your numbers in a while, but you're doing pretty well.
I'm awesome.
So,
I'm pretty awesome.
Here we go.
Okay.
Speaking of awesome, this guy, I tipped it away. This guy is also known as Luke the Drifter.
Oh.
Ooh, the Hillbilly Shakespeare.
Luke the Drifter.
The Singing Kid.
Chord. What was that last one?
The Singing Kid.
Luke the Drifter, the Hillbilly Kid, the Singing Kid.
No, Hillbilly Shakespeare.
Billy Shakespeare. Billy Strings?
Singing Kid. No, you're close. Timber Snake.
Justin Timberlake?
No, that's not close at all. Cold. You're very cold. Very cold. Mr. Lovesick Blues.
I'm going with an older artist that may had sung some old country and western.
He won a special citation for, quote, his craftsmanship as a songwriter who expressed universal feelings with poignant simplicity and played a pivotal role in transforming country music into a major musical and cultural force in American life.
Chris Isaac?
No, that's...
Johnny Paycheck? We did him already, didn't we?
We did Johnny Paycheck already.
George Jones?
Check out the
Nope,
Johnny
did
Paycheck
him already.
episode. We did George Jones also. Yeah, no, the old country, we've hit a lot of the ones. But this guy is probably at the top of it all. I mean, he's the king of country music.
Garth Brooks?
His son is a notorious drunk.
Oh, Hank Williams.
Who's also a king of country music. Senior,
yeah.
Yes, hey, Hank Williams Senior.
Well, you said his son's a. What'd you say? His son's a notorious drunk.
Notorious drunk. We'll get
that
there,
should have been
people.
His son's a notorious drunk. Hank Williams nailed it.
Nailed it. Well, I can't give you the easy one right off the bat, but it is Hank Williams Senior.
All right.
You have heard of him, I assume.
Oh, absolutely.
In his
Everybody
many, many
has.
Songs. All right, great. Luke the Drifter, the Hillbilly Shakespeare, the Singing Kid, Timber Snake, Mr. Lovesick.
Yeah, Luke the Drifter. I feel like I'd heard that before. That's why I said that. Yeah.
I think so.
I still think I have heard it before.
You probably have. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what sparks your memory here. All right, moving my chair. Here we go. September 17th, 1923, born Hiram Hank Williams in Mount Olive, Butler County, Alabama.
Hiram? That was his first name?
Hiram, and we'll get there, believe it or not.
Can I just ask this? Is that not a Jewish name?
It is.
Is he Jewish?
And again, we'll get there. All right, let's check out his parents. Alonzo Hubble, or Lon Williams, that's his dad. And then Jesse Lilybell Skipper Williams, that's his mom.
Was his dad the telescope guy?
Lon and Lily. No, not at all. His dad, well, we'll get there. No, you just hold on a second here. They're of Welsh, English, and German ancestry. Alonzo worked as an engineer for the railroads of the W.T. Smith Lumber Company.
Did he drive the train?
No, I think he was, no, it did say engineer. Yeah, so there you go. Yep, engineer. Woo, woo. I love that joke because I run into a lot of like computer engineers. Like, I'm an engineer. I was like, oh, my grandfather's an engineer. Woo, woo. They never get it. Alonzo was drafted during World War I. He served from July 1918 until July 1919.
That's his dad, right? His
Spanish
dad.
Flu in there. That's his dad, Lon. He was severely injured after falling off a truck.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Fell off a truck, broke his collarbone, suffered a concussion, big, bust to the head.
Was it a turnip truck?
So he might have fallen off a turnip truck or a potato truck in the war. 1919. Family's first child, Irene, is born in August of 1922. They have another son. He dies shortly after birth. And their third kid, Hiram, is born.
Oh, wow. Okay, he's the third kid, one older sister that's alive.
Yes, Irene. All right. And then, since Alonzo was a Mason, like a Freemason, and his wife was a member of the Order of the Eastern Star, like the Freemasons Women's Auxiliary, their child was named after Hiram I of Tyre. He's one of the 3 founding fathers of the Masons, and according to the Masonic legend, that's what they say.
According to what they say, that's what they say.
That's what they say. Here's the problem, though. His name was misspelled as Hiram on his birth certificate. So Hiram. They're missing an I. And so they would call him Harm by his family as a nickname, or Herky, or Poots by his friends.
Oh, Poots.
Oh, and you know which one I chose to continue this episode with.
Poots?
It's Poots all the way, baby. Putin from here. Well, not Putin, but Pooting. So... he was also born with spina bifida occulta.
Ew.
That is a birth defect centered on the spinal column, which gave him lifelong pain. And as we will see, he finds ways to treat his pain sort of self-medicated ways.
I think, his son was a drunk.
Yes. Alonzo, Lon, his dad, was frequently relocated by the lumber company and the railway. So they lived in a bunch of different small towns all over Alabama. And in 1930, when Poots was 7 years old, his dad started suffering from facial paralysis.
That's a big Weyerhaeuser company down there. Big Weyerhaeuser land. Is that the paper company down there in Alabama?
Oh. Facial paralysis?
No, the paper. You said the lumber company, paper company, warehouse. They make paper out of
Yeah,
whatever.
I knew you knew about the railroads. I didn't know if you were going to know this one, but yeah. So... Anyway, 1930, facial paralysis with his dad. They take him to a VA clinic in Pensacola, Florida, and they said, doctors are like, your dad's got a brain aneurysm. And so Alonzo is sent to another VA medical center in Alexandria, Louisiana, to sort of monitor and see if they can do something about the brain aneurysm. He remained hospitalized for 8 years, pretty much making him absent throughout all of Poots' childhood.
He was in the hospital, like, continuously for 8 years?
Yep.
Ugh.
So from that time on, Lily assumes responsibility for the family. She steps up. It's like, you know what? I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it. And in the fall of 1934, the Williams family moves to Greenville, Alabama, where Lily opens up a boarding house next to the courthouse. And so you got some money there with all these people coming in from court and staying at the boarding house.
That doesn't sound like a great group of individuals coming through.
I'll bet you get some stories.
Oh, I bet you do.
I'll tell you what, as a young kid, you're going to see and hear some weird things. 1935, the family settles in Garland, Alabama. Lily opens a new boarding house. After that, they moved to Georgiana, Alabama. Basically, Lily is moving around house to house trying to stay because the Great Depression is going on right now. I mean,
And
they're
she
trying
started
to
the first like Airbnb.
Kinda, yeah. And then she just kept popping up. She also gets jobs working in a cannery. She works as a night shift nurse in some places. I mean, mom's really stepping up here for young poots.
Gotta go. You gotta do what you gotta do.
We've heard this story before. Their house burns down and the family loses everything.
Did he burn it down?
No, he didn't burn it down. There was no list of why it burned down. It just burned. And they moved to another house on the other side of Rose Street, and his mom turns that place into a boarding house. You're right. She liked the boarding houses.
It burned. It burned down.
Maybe it was a different type of house. Maybe a brothel, and somebody didn't like it, so they burned it. I don't know. They don't tell you. But they had a little garden out back. They're growing crops. Him and his sister Irene sell those things around town. U.S.
Nice little
Representative
victory garden. All right.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that goes well into this because U.S. Representative J. Lister Hill is campaigning across Alabama. He comes through Georgiana, where Poots and his family is. And Poots goes up to him and is like, Mr. Hill, my mom needs to talk to you because she's got to collect disability pension from my dad who's been in the hospital for 8 years. So they get help from this local politician guy. They start collecting money, and despite all the medical conditions and all the moving around, the family actually manages okay through the Great Depression. You know, they're doing all right.
No, they're workers. They're working. They got gardens.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
There are several versions of how Poots gets his first guitar. His mom said she bought it for him, selling peanuts, and she took that money and bought him a guitar. There's a bunch of people around town who are like, I bought him his first guitar because he grows up to be a big country star. So
yeah, everybody wants to take a little credit there.
Right. So everybody's like, if I had a nickel for every time someone said they bought me my first guitar, I could have afforded my first guitar.
Did I ever tell you the bald peanut story?
The bald peanut? No.
So I'm down south. I think it very well may have been Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, somewhere. Might have been Georgia. And I'm with a sales rep who lives down that way, and he's got that southern drawl. And he's like, y'all ever had any bald peanuts? I'm like, bald peanuts? No, I've never had bald peanuts before.
No.
No, you never had no bald. You only got bald peanuts up north? And I'm thinking he's screwing with me. So I'm like, no. He goes, oh, they sell these. I know right where to go. We're going to go over here. We're going to pass this place on the side of the road. It's a little shack. And they got the best bald peanuts ever. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I will eat. I'll try anything. Whatever. Let's go. So, and I can't remember if I tried to have him explain it to me or something, but we stop at this little shack, and we get this bag. It's a small, like a lunch sack bag in a clear plastic bag. And it's all kind of tied up, and it's warm, and it's really warm and moist. And we open it up, and it's a bag of peanuts. But he wasn't saying bald, he was saying boiled. Boiled peanuts. They boil these peanuts in salt water. They don't roast them. It's maybe the step you do before you roast the peanut. They're mushy, squishy peanuts. They're kind of, the shells kind of just disintegrate off them. They're okay. I mean, whatever. That was my bald peanut story.
That's a good one with the accents. Those can be tricky. Bald peanuts.
Bald.
I don't want a crab ball. I don't want a crawfish ball. I just, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Now, back to George Jones.
Okay. No, it's Hank Williams Sr., by the way.
Ah, right.
And so he's living in Georgiana, Alabama. And as a little kid here, Poots meets local street performer Rufus T-Tot Payne.
I love that name.
Yeah, we'll give me 1 second there, and I'll tell you where it comes from. Rufus was an early 20th century African-American blues musician from Greenville, Alabama. And he was more widely known by his nickname T-Tot. T-Tot is a pun for teetotaler, and it is said that he got his nickname because he usually carried a homemade mixture of alcohol and tea wherever he went.
I wouldn't say that was a teetotaler, but I guess
it's a pun,
whatever. Yeah,
T-Tot. So T-Tot gives Poots guitar lessons. Yeah, it's like reading a Dr. Seuss book. Right. So we got T-Tot. He gives Poots guitar lessons in exchange for meals provided by Poots' mom. Or money. He'll take either. And so they met. Rufus meets Poots when he's 8 years old. Legend has it that he would come around, Poots would, to play his guitar. And T-Tot would show him improvised chords, chord progressions, and bass turns, like musical style stuff.
I don't know any of that. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, right? I mean, that's the next part of learning the guitar
I know,
is
right?
those things. So a lot of this stuff Poots takes on to the future songwriting, and this is one of those times where you got the young white kid is exposed to blues and African American influences that he fuses with hillbilly and folk, and like he makes that unique style of both black and white audiences back then they're like, I like it and I like it too, and so it's very successful with it.
Yeah, he had a lot of
genres.
he did have. If you think about, I was thinking about some of his old songs, and they do fuse a lot of stuff together, even like Creole and stuff, blues and country, western.
Oh, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
so we'll get there. Let me tell you, this dude. Later on, Poots would go on to record one of the songs that Rufus taught him. It's called "My Bucket's Got a Hole in It."
My bucket's got a hole in it.
My bucket's got a hole in it.
It's not much of a bucket at that point.
No, it's not. Poots' musical style contained influences from Rufus, Payne, along with several other country influences: the singing brakeman, Jimmy Rogers, Moon Mulligan, and Roy Acuff.
All people we've never heard of because
Jimmy Rogers,
a billion years old.
I mean, Jimmy Rogers was one of those Grand Ole Opry guys, and Roy Acuff is also considered the king of country music. So
a lot of kings back then, huh?
Well, the kingdom was small. So July 1937, the Williamses and the McNeil family opened a boarding house in Perry Street in downtown Montgomery, Alabama. And at that point, Poots decides to change his name from Hiram to Hank.
It's a little bit more. Yeah, it's easier to spell out on the checks.
We're in the big city of Montgomery, Alabama. Let's go with Hank. Now, he said the name change was supposedly because of cats yowling. He says there's an old cat walking up and down the fence yowling. It would just go, and so
pretty
he
good
thought
cat impersonation, Brian.
Thank you. I was actually impressed myself. He thought the cat was calling him, so he changed his name to Hank. So, because, quote, Hank simply sounded more like a hillbilly and Western star name than Hiram.
Didn't want to sound like a cat, a cat breeding sound.
1937, he participates in a talent show at the Empire Theater.
At what year?
1937.
And how old is he here?
Oh, God.
Teens, 20s?
Probably. I don't know. You got me on that. When did I say he was born?
1919? No, that's too early. Was it?
Jeez, now I got to scroll back. Good thing these are on the 1923.
Okay.
So 37, he's 15?
Yeah, okay. All right, I just want to get a frame of reference for the audience there and when he did his big, kind of his debut for music, talent show.
Oh, well, no, that's nice. You're right. Okay, 1937. Age 15, he participates in a talent show at the Empire Theater. He wins first prize.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
$15.
That's big money.
It is. He sang the original song, WPA Blues. That stands for the Work Progress Administration. That was part of the New Deal. They were out and they made a blues song about it. He wrote lyrics and used the tune of Riley Puckett's Dissatisfied. Now, Riley Puckett was an American country music pioneer, best known for being a member of the Gid Tanner and the Skillet Lickers.
The what? The
Gid Tanner. Yeah, the Gid Tanner as of one group, and then the Skillet Lickers were another group.
I like that name.
The Skillet Lickers were an old-time band from Georgia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's bring them back.
So basically, Poots puts all that stuff together and goes and wins the talent show, sort of borrowing from all these guys' styles.
You skillet licker.
He never learned to read music, and for the rest of his career, he based his compositions on storytelling and personal experience.
What's that have to do with reading music? I mean, you don't have to read. I get it, but I don't know how to drive, so I'm just going to focus on mowing the yard. I don't know. That's
right.
Terrible.
Unrelated.
Analogy. All right, continue.
Really. After school and on weekends, he sang and played his Silvertone guitar on sidewalks in front of WSFA radio station in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, another radio station guy. A lot of those guys did some stuff at radio stations, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did. With his recent win at the talent show and the street performances, people started noticing him. So one of the radio producers invited him inside the station to perform live on the air.
Okay.
So many listeners contacted the radio station asking for more of the Singing Kid. Remember, that was one
the
of his
singing kid.
hits.
Yeah, because he was only in his teens at this point still.
Yep. They're like, "Wow, I like him. You got more of that Singing Kid?" So many listeners called in. The producers hired him to host his own 15-minute show twice a week for a weekly salary of $15.
Another $15 is $15, eh?
Equivalent in US dollars today, $266.80.
How much?
$266.80.
For 15 minutes.
Yep, twice a week.
That's good pay.
30 minutes. That's a good job now. I would take that. August 1938, Alonzo, his dad, is temporarily released from the hospital. He shows up unannounced to the family's house in Alabama there in Montgomery. Him and Lily kind of have a discussion. She's not willing to step down as head of the family, and because he's like, I'm back to reclaim my spot at head of the table. And she's like, hell nah, you ain't been here. So
wait, for what for what's that worth?
yeah, right.
It sounds like a title, really.
Ceremonial title, like a king or something. So he stays long enough to celebrate Poots' birthday that September, and then he goes to the medical center back in Louisiana. And from that point on, Poots' mom would be like, your dad's dead.
No, he's not. No, he's dead.
I just saw him. Nope, died. Just go with it, son.
Dead. He's dead.
So he's got this radio show, right? Poots is playing guitar on the radio, and this is what helps get him sort of formally into the music business. He earns enough money to start his own band because you got a job and now you can start a band. That's how it goes. He calls them the Drifting Cowboys.
The Drifting Cowboys.
Yeah, the name comes from Poots' love of Western films, and the band like wears cowboy hats and boots and the whole getup.
Yeah, that was always his look.
Well, I think he liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Singing Kid was sort of bolo ties and whatnot, frills and fringe and stuff. So him and his band travel all around southern Alabama, performing in clubs and private gatherings. October 1939, Poots officially drops out of high school so he can work full-time with the Drifting Cowboys.
And I don't think schooling was that big of a deal in the South back at that time. Or anywhere, really.
Well, especially not if you plan on being a musician. I really don't think.
And he's making money.
He's making more money than he probably would if he'd stay in school, yeah.
Yeah.
So now that he's free from the school burden, him and the Drifting Cowboys, they travel as far away as western Georgia, and then they hit the Florida Panhandle circuit. They're up in the Panhandle, a Panhandle mentality.
Now, just for anyone that maybe is not from around here, the geographic
around here, are you?
The geographic territory that Brian speaks of isn't that big. It's not that, to go from Georgia to Alabama to the Florida Panhandle. That's just a couple-hour trip in a car. It's not even that big of a deal. You can just kind of get in the car, go down there, do a show, probably drive back in the same day, and not really experience that big of. It's not like you're getting jet lag going from Georgia down to the Florida Panhandle. That's not a. You can. Yeah, that's. So when they're talking about going this far, they're not really talking about going that freaking far.
No, and like North Florida is more southern than South Florida sort of thing. So it's all kind of the same grouping of people and culture all
North
in that area.
Florida
they're
is
planned.
what? More south than...
Haven't you heard that one? Like the people in North Florida are more southern than the people in South Florida?
Oh,
you know what
yes.
I mean? Like cultural mentality type of things.
Their culture is more like southern, where South Florida is more like Cuban.
Well, right.
Right?
All right. Pop top. Pop your tops, everybody. Pop top.
All right, pull the curtain back. But that whole entire little speech I gave where Brian didn't interrupt me for a while was because he left to go get a beer. I can see him on the Zoom. He just doesn't even say anything.
Well, you were doing such a good soliloquy. I'm like, he's got it. I can go get a beer.
Just
relax.
let him diarrhea of the mouth for a little while. I'm going to grab a Miller Lite. What kind of beer you got?
I've actually got a Lingarino with a bicycle on it. It's a Mexican lager with some lime in it. I love these. They're cheap. They taste good. It's from Griffin Claw.
Hey,
good
just
stuff.
that Griffin
Not a
Claw.
White Claw. I said Griffin Claw, not White Claw.
Yeah, Griffin Claw is a real good brewery here in the state of Michigan.
Yes.
You know what they're doing now? They're making
hand sanitizer.
Gallons upon barrels of hand sanitizer. They are selling some of it, but they are giving it away for free to all the local municipality, the sheriff's office, the firefighters, the police office, the city, first, line, the first responders, anybody that drives a ambulance. They're giving it away
And
for
Blance.
free. Yeah, they're pretty good people. I mean, they're making some good publicity off it. So hopefully, when everything gets back to close to normal, people be like, that Griffin Claw, I like that place. They got great food too. That's a good place to go.
We're gonna give it a little clap to Griffin Claw.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you, Griffin Claw, and everybody, all the breweries out there making, doing what they can. People making masks and all that stuff. It's
Shoot, yeah, you got.
what it is.
I know of Griffin Claw is doing hand sanitizer. Kunin's is doing hand sanitizer. Blake's cider is doing hand sanitizer.
What's the lab doing? There's one up north. There's a brewery called the Lake Ann Brewery. Are they doing anything?
Oh, they're making beer and selling it. No, you got to have a still. You still have to have. You can't just brew beer and make it into hands. You got to be able to get to basically 80%, which is 160 proof, which is very, very strong alcohol.
I think stills are still. Duh. I'm dying. I think stills are still federally regulated. Like that's a federal crime. Like you can't get a brewery license. You can get a brewery license, but you can't get a distillery license as easily. I don't think.
It's a different license
because like stuff explodes and things.
You can't. I don't think legally distill your own product at home. Like you can homebrew in Michigan,
right?
Right.
These
and that's
Michigan
why you
laws
see,
speaking of
all those folks down there in like the Appalachian Mountains making moonshine because that's illegal. Not very complicated, but
that's where my family's from, and that's why I have my own bald peanut story, which I'm not going to share with you, but it has to do with getting hard. And so, getting hard. My uncle was looking for a job. We'll leave that for the next episode. Speaking of jobs, Poots and the band start playing in movie theaters before the movie starts. They were like the opening act for the movie, and then they later started playing in honky tonks, which we've covered extensively.
We've been watching old Bugs Bunnies here at the house during the quarantine.
Nice.
And that's where a lot of the old Bugs Bunnies used to be made for, like, getting everybody seated for a movie theater to throw a cartoon or two on. Yeah, that's what he was. He was basically the Bugs Bunny of his day.
Yep. When he was making shit like, no, the train's not actually going to hit you. Just stay in your seats and listen. We're going to play some songs. So the problem, though, is because he's out jamming in the band, right? He's got that sort of band lifestyle. He starts drinking. And that starts becoming a problem during some of the tours.
Spends too drunk? Yeah, that could be a problem.
He's spending a lot of money on alcohol, too. Like spending a large part of the band's money on alcohol. Not just his, but like the band's money.
Really? That much?
Yep. So, and between tours, he would even come home to Montgomery, Alabama to keep hosting his radio show. So he still got that money coming in.
That's a lot of alcohol. I mean, I guess
I'm just drinking a lot.
Alcohol
is one of the
cheapest things you can do to get sideways. I mean, it's cheaper than crack. It's.
I suppose so.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, bigger problems.
I haven't bought a lot of crack lately. I don't know what the market value is.
Right? You got to stay home. It's hard to meet these people nowadays.
That's what we got Amazon for. All right, continue.
1941, big problems. What happens in 1941?
War is declared.
Correct. America enters into World War II. Good job. This would mark the beginning of hard times for the world and hard times for old Poots. But he's granted a 4F deferment from the draft.
What's that mean?
4F is registrant not acceptable for military service. Must have been found not qualified for the armed forces in some established physical, like at a recruiting office or something. So
yeah, okay. He was naturally not fit for the draft. Like there was some physical things.
You're not gonna. Yeah, you can't be hauling rucksacks and all that stuff.
Right. I didn't know if the 4F was. There were some people that were. I guess he wasn't really a celebrity, quote unquote, yet, but there were some people that they deemed that they could use as way to make war bonds and raise money and go around the country. Right. We can take Elvis and put him on TV and have a better push for the war effort than having him in a trench somewhere shooting an M16 at an open field.
Well, right. Well, now also, just a backstory. Rumor has it that at the age of 7, Poots ran away from home and he went to Mexico and he got drunk and entered a rodeo and then he fell off a bull and hurt his back. And so.
Well, he had spina bifida.
what I'm saying, but I'm just saying the rumor of also
How
why he
old?
got turned down. When he was 7, he had an injury to his back, which, they also
Which
turned
is
him away.
the rumor is that it happened in Mexico when he was 7. He ran away to Mexico.
Yeah, he was in Texas, living in Texas. He ran away to Mexico, got drunk, entered a rodeo.
At 7.
That's what it said. That's why I said rumor has it.
I'm gonna choose to believe that's 100% true.
It's in the opening 4 pages of his book about him and the Williams family and their issue with celebrity. So it talks a lot about him and his son Hank Jr., Poots Jr. So anyway, he did not get drafted, but a lot of his band members, as for example, all of his band members got drafted to serve in the army, or in the military.
Okay.
A lot of the replacement musicians that he got refused to play in the band, though, because of the alcoholism and spending all the money that we make on alcohol. So,
Yeah, they weren't getting paid very well, I don't think.
no. I don't. Hey, what are we getting paid for this gig here, Poots? He's like, yeah, they paid us $10. And it's like $100.
And 7 bottles of rum.
Right. The rum is purely decorative, though, so don't drink that.
It's medicinal. My back hurts. Quiet.
Oh, that's right. It would be. It's medicinal. All right. So he's got issues with that, but he keeps showing up for his radio show. And the problem is he shows up to the radio show now super drunk. So August 1942, WSFA radio station fires him for habitual drunkenness.
Yeah. I mean, getting called out back then, it must have been a real problem.
So he's able to find some gigs here and there. During one of his gigs, Poots meets his idol, Grand Ole Opry star Roy Acuff.
That's his
I know
idol?
you don't know who that is, but that's like the biggest guy around. That's Johnny Cash before there was Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Roy Acuff. We got a quote from Roy on what he told Poots that day when they met. He said, quote, "You got $1 million talent, son, but a 10-cent brain."
I know a lot of people like that. I'm just saying.
It's a way to be, right? So, all right. Poots works the rest of his wartime at a shipbuilding company in Mobile, Alabama. After work.
Shipbuilding?
Ship.
Oh, ship.
Okay. Ship your pants. You can ship your pants, man. So he works as a shipbuilding company, and then after work, he sings at local bars for soldiers, and doing the thing. Let's see here. 1943 rolls around. Poots and Audrey Shepard, they meet at a medicine show in Banks, Alabama.
What's a medicine show?
I was hoping you would explain that, but it's where they get Native American dancers, and it's like Wild Bill's Wild West show kind of thing. They would have teepees and people would come out and dance and with the headdresses and sort of kind of like an Annie Oakley sort of
okay,
thing.
it's like
trick horseback riding, stuff like that.
All right, okay. All right,
They would have, bands playing and stuff like that.
I can picture that. Yeah, because that's what Wild Bill's thing was, basically.
Exactly.
Taking remnants of the frontier and bringing them to the East Coast.
Well, yeah, so people know, because you hear about stuff back then, and there wasn't as much video as there is now. So you'd be like, "What are you talking about? What's a buffalo? What?"
Yeah, you had all those books that were getting written, and they were getting shipped back of the exploits of the Wild Wild West. Yeah, okay,
right.
Medicine show. Check.
Now we got sort of the New Deal stuff all kicked in. The highway system's getting there, and people could drive a lot further, so they're experiencing different culture.
The exploitation of Native Americans.
There you go. So this is where Poots meets this girl, Audrey, and basically they work and live together now in Mobile, Alabama, and Audrey tells him that she wants him to move back to Montgomery, start a band, and she's going to help him get back on the radio.
She's now his personal handler.
Yes, the person that everyone needs in every show, someone to handle your traffic tickets and your court dates. He has one now. She volunteered for free.
And to meter the booze out at a normal, regulated rate.
I wouldn't go that far. The couple are married in 1944 at a Texaco station in Andalus, Alabama.
Oh, romantic.
By a justice of the peace.
Here, and here's a map, a hot dog, and some scratch-offs.
To make it more romantic, shortly after their wedding, the marriage was declared illegal because Audrey's divorce from her previous husband hadn't complied with the legal requirement of a 60-day trial reconciliation.
Harlot.
You can't marry this guy. You got to go back to the last guy and try and make it work for 2 months. And if it doesn't work out, then you can marry this guy.
I think that other guy's going to have a real problem with this current dude.
I think that there might be a conflict there. Well, I gotta wait for 60 days until she comes back and see if they made it work. And
The
if
only
not,
way I
then-
can marry you is to try to make it good with my last husband. I'll be right back.
I don't. That's not. That didn't line up with. All right. 1945. After moving back to Montgomery, Poots starts to perform again on WSFA radio. He gets his job back. So Audrey was right. He writes songs weekly to perform during the show. That really builds up his repertoire. So
He's writing songs weekly. Okay, so that's a lot of
Right.
songs.
Now you got a bunch of songs. What are you gonna do? He publishes a songbook called "Original Songs of Hank Williams."
Okay, just like a book, so people could play the songs too.
No, the book only listed lyrics, since the main purpose was to attract more like audiences and stuff to the crowds. They wanted you to be able to sing along with their songs. They didn't put the chords in there. That and possibly he didn't want to spend the money to pay for transcribing the notes.
Well, he didn't know. Yeah, he don't know.
Well,
Never
that's
learned
true.
how to read music.
I've never learned how to. I honestly did not put that fact together. You're right. Of course, he didn't put the notes in. Doesn't know how to read music. So there you go. But he's got a book out. September 14th, 1946. Poots auditions for Nashville's Grand Ole Opry. Here we go,
the
baby.
Ryman.
Big time at the Ryman. He gets rejected.
Oh, he did.
Fail. Next, the big X comes up on the screen. Simon Cowell's like, I heard you, but I really don't think you're country enough country for me.
Right.
So, him and his wife, Audrey, they find this dude, Fred Rose. Now, Fred Rose is the president of the company, like the radio station, basically.
Okay, he's the president of a radio station.
Of a radio station, right. Now, what happens is Fred, he plays a lot of ping pong, and so they got a ping pong table at the radio station, and he's in there just playing ping pong one of these days, and Audrey comes up and she's like, hey, sorry, Mr. Rose, can my husband sing you a song real quick? And just, see if you like it, see if you can do something for him. And he's like, I'm in the middle of a ping pong match, madam, but fine.
They had
Sing.
ping pong back then?
Apparently, 46, ping pong was big.
Hey, you ever burn a ping pong ball?
No.
Everyone, this is like I'm
Homework.
serious. Oh, don't have a lot of ping pong balls around when you do this. It's got to be a legit ping pong ball. None of these vinyl things that the kids
New
play with
out
the
of the
beer pong.
package.
It's got to
Right.
be one of those like cellulose ping pong. You burn that thing, it goes right up.
They're made of flash paper, I hear.
It's basically flash paper compressed in ball form.
I see. Well, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah, so go burn them, see what happens.
Burn 'em, Bo, burn 'em. Now,
All right, so they interrupt the ping pong game.
ping pong master's like, sing me your song, singing kid.
Fine.
And he
Can we
sings
get
him a
this
song.
over with?
It's my serve. Can we do this now? Dude, he likes him. He likes what he hears. He's like, this guy's good. So he signs him right then and there to contract. He's like, this is perfect. 6-song contract. Here you go. So December 11th, 1946, Poots records his first song in his first recording session called Wealth Won't Save Your Soul.
You know, this guy sandbagged to right at the right moment in time
Late bloomers, baby.
to start to come out. And because you got to think, it's hard to sell a lot of stuff during wartime because so much was focused right toward the war.
Yeah, the war effort.
But you're coming out of the end of it, and all of a sudden you got some new, fresh voice. He's
Yep.
singing fun, he's singing heartful, soulful songs in a bunch of different mix of genres. All the boys coming back from overseas. He's ready to explode.
You are correct. He records, let's see, his other songs that come out are Calling You and Never Again Will I Knock on Your Door. And then this other one called When God Comes and Gathers His Jewels.
Okay.
That was a misprint. They misprinted it as When God Comes and Fathers His Jewels. So if you have that album, it's a misprint and it's worth a lot of money.
I don't have it. My dad might. Tom might.
The song Honky Tonkin' becomes successful and earns Poots the attentions of MGM Record. Honky Tonkin', honky tonkin'. 1947, Poots signs with MGM Records. He releases Moving On Over Slide it on over, move it on over. Some considered it an early example of rock and roll. That song becomes a massive country hit. In 1948, he moves to Shreveport, Louisiana, joins the Louisiana Hayride. You remember that show?
No.
That's the one that Elvis was on. It's like the
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of dirty, raw version of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, it was the edgy Grand Ole Opry.
Exactly. So Poots moves over there, and he signs with those dudes. That radio broadcast throws him right into the living rooms all over the Southeast every weekend. So then he gets on a show again. He's on the radio on KWKH. I don't know what that is.
Quahog.
With
Quahog Radio.
Quahog Radio. With that success, he starts touring across western Louisiana, eastern Texas. He always comes back on Saturdays for the Hayride broadcast, though.
Again, his tour area is not that big of a geographic area.
No, you're right.
Eastern Texas, western Georgia. It's like a road trip for an afternoon.
We're going to take a break right now because when we come back, we got some treats here for you.
Tasty treats?
So, tasty treats. This is a sad song. I'm going to leave you with a sad song from my high school band, 21.
They're all a little sad. It's sad now anyways.
That's mean. And we're back.
I hate that. You know I hate it. That's why you do it.
That and burping into the mic. I got to have my buttons. No, again, I really don't want to come back like, hey, everybody. You're just like, just like right in your face. I want a nice, because the music's going to be sort of quiet and flowy in this one. So
it sounds like you're coming back from break for a podcast called Book Talk.
We talked about a book. He wrote a book. I mean, it kind of works.
He wrote a car.
Well, you can ride in a car.
He wrote it. He rode a bull, apparently fell off.
He did when he was younger, and we'll do it again when he's older.
And got to get back on that bull.
All right. Well, he doesn't get back on a bull, but he does get back on the music train. He has a couple more hits. In 1949, he releases his version of the 1922 Cliff Friend and Irving Mills song, Lovesick Blues. That was made popular by a guy named Rex Griffin. Poots' version becomes a huge country hit. The song stays at number 1 on the Billboard charts for 4 months.
Can you sing it for us?
It crosses. No, but we got special treats. I can play it for you.
It's
and
old
you
enough?
Can play it. It's old enough. I can play it for you, and you can play it too. So I'm going to send it to you real quick here.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go. Lovesick Blues.
Yeah, I've heard this song before.
Yeah, most people have. And that's why I introduced you today as Ben because it's that yodel.
Callback.
Get that yodel. Yeah.
Gotta yodel, George. Gotta yodel. Yeah, this song has been in movies. It's been used on TV shows. It's been in the public eye ever since in this version. The Hank version.
Yeah, well, this isn't Hank. I will just leave it at that. I got this from one of my buddies is a PhD in music from U of M, so I was like, I need copyright-free music, and he's like, tell me the song. And so this is what he came back with.
You know what it reminds me of, and I know it's not this song, but remember the movie The Three Amigos when they're all like singing, like trotting on their horses, coming through the desert with cactuses? The Three Amigos movie. They play like songs like this. That's
absolutely.
Yeah. Old Western stuff.
Well, the thing that gets me is that this is the number 1 song for 4 months. I mean, like, this was the height of popularity at the time, and now we look at it like black and white movie footage and stuff like that.
This was the Ice Ice Baby of its time.
That's crazy. It is because it's all edgy and like however you want to describe it as cutting edge. So, well, we're gonna let that play in the background, but this song helps Poots cross over to mainstream audiences and gets him a spot on the Grand Ole Opry.
Finally, he broke the Grand Ole Opry barrier.
Well, they couldn't
He
help
broke
it,
it.
man.
He broke the Ryman.
Nice.
He
Rim
broke
shot.
into that Ryman.
Boom. June 11, 1949. Poots makes his debut at the Grand Ole Opry Ryman Auditorium, where he becomes the first performer ever to receive six encores. They're like, no, come back, woo! Like, he already played his set, brought him back 6 times.
6 times.
Dude, I mean, I've been to a bunch of Fish shows. You don't get 6 encores even there. I mean, solid 4 or 5, but 6? You kidding me?
I've never been. Have you really been to Fish shows?
Oh, yeah.
I have not.
Been to Fish shows. I got lucky enough. I went to a Dead show before some people started dying. So
Did you
yeah,
see Jerry? You did not see
I did.
Jerry.
I did see Jerry. Absolutely. Pine Knob.
Really?
I was there with, with a couple of the dudes from the band and, all those dudes. Those will all be beeped. Jesus, making more work for myself.
Don't beep
yep.
them.
Nope. Bruce Hornsby and the Range opened up for him, right? And so, or at least Bruce Hornsby. And so everyone was out there going, Bruce! Bruce! I'm like, why is everyone booing? This is awesome. And they're looking at me like they're saying, Bruce, you moron.
It's like when Lou Whitaker got to the plate.
Lou. Like, they booing that guy? No, his name is Lou. It's awesome. Because like a Chet Lemon, that's just a whole different. You're like, Lemon! It doesn't.
All right.
Old Tigers. June, speaking of old days,
got,
June
man.
11th.
That's all we got.
No. Did I tell you he's making like $1,000 per show back in 1949?
Well, that was that day's money. That's a lot of money then.
$10,745.50 in 2020 cash. So he's making 10 grand a show.
Money. That's a lot of booze money.
It is. And what goes good with drinking? Audrey gives birth to Randall Hank Williams.
Oh,
Hank
okay.
Williams Jr., a.k.a.
Hank.
So,
yeah.
Randall. I didn't know his first name was Randall Hank Williams.
Yeah, it's in a song or two that he says.
Huh, there you go. Poots releases 7 hit songs following Lovesick Blues, including Wedding Bells, Mind Your Own Business, You're Gonna Change or I'm Gonna Leave, and My Bucket's Got a Hole in It.
The good old Bucket's Got a Hole in It song.
I almost know how it goes, too, without just going, my bucket's got a hole in it. Like
probably, yeah. That's probably close anyways.
A
guy in backup just going, bucket's got a hole in it.
Bucket's got a hole in it.
Bucket's got a hole.
Bucket's got a hole. Hey, we could be backup singers. 1950, Poots begins recording as Luke the Drifter for his religious-themed recordings.
He had religious-themed recordings?
Yep. Anything you find as Luke the Drifter is kind of more religious-themed, many which are recitations rather than singing. He plays music and just sort of recites Bible verses. He was afraid disc jockeys and, like, jukebox operators, there's a job, they wouldn't, like, want to use those recordings of, like, Hank Williams. And so to make sure he didn't, like, hurt the markability of Hank Williams' name, he came up with Luke the Drifter for his, like, sort of Christian rock band name.
It's basically what Leonard Greenbaum did with Spirit in the Sky. He's like, let's sing about God a little bit. That seems to be pretty popular. Let's make some money. And next thing you know, it's the only song that poor band's got that ever made it into, like, current pop culture.
I don't want people to know it was me, so I'll go a different name. Like, hey, that's the greatest song we've ever heard. Damn it. Should have used my own name. My note was, that's the original Chris Gaines.
Who?
Garth Brooks. Remember when he was Chris Gaines?
No.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I still to this day can't believe Garth Brooks made a comeback.
Oh, he's huge now, too. That's the funniest part.
He's beyond huge.
Right? He's so huge. There's stories of him, like, being a lizard person and abducting people and stuff like that. Like, crazy, wild stuff.
He entertained me back, was he famous like 50 years ago? And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I think I'm going to be a big star again. Anybody got a problem with that? All right.
Name a Hank Williams song, because I'm stuck on Achy Breaky Heart, and that's not it.
No, that's not it.
That's Miley Cyrus's dad.
Oh, now you ask me to name them, and I can't even think of one in my
Right?
head. Thanks, dude.
That's where I'm at.
All right, you
All
start
right,
talking,
well-
and I'll just start rattling them off as I think about them.
I'm gonna name some songs too, because around this time, Poots had a bunch more hits, like "My Son Calls Another Man Daddy," "They'll Never Take Her Love from Me," "Why Shouldn't We Try Anymore?" Wow, he's sad. "Nobody's Lonesome for Me," "Long Gone Lonesome Blues," "Why Don't You Love Me?" "Moanin' Blues." Well, he's self-aware, and "I Just Don't Like This Kind of Living."
Those are all names of songs,
Those are all of his songs from like 1949, just blasting out hits.
and they're just
And
like
then
they're like four-word names to all these songs.
Oh, yeah, right? 1951, he releases the song called Dear John. It becomes a hit, but the flip side's got this song, Cold, Cold Heart, and that becomes one of his most, sorry, Michelle, recognized songs ever. And all I can think
Hank
of
Williams
is Cold,
Jr. had a song
Cold
about
Heart.
setting a trout line. Country Boy Can Survive.
Oh, all right. I was like, are you serious about setting a trout line?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Now you're just reading books, like you got one of those voices where you could read the phone book and people pay for it.
That's us, Brian.
We got Alan
It's just called
Anderson
Wikipedia.
Don't give away the secrets.
People ain't really paying for it either. Oh, they
Quickly
paid for
moving
it.
on. You're paying for it. Quickly moving on. Summer of 1951. Poots' career reaches its peak with his Had a Call tour with the U.S. And Bob Hope. Had a Call is patent medicine marketed as a vitamin supplement, quote unquote. Its principal attraction, however, was that it contains 12% alcohol, listed as a preservative on the bottle.
All
so-
my rowdy friends have settled down. Right? Yeah, it's a Hank
Yep.
Williams Jr. song.
And
And the hangovers don't,
Senior.
they hurt more than they used to. All
The
right.
had a Call hangovers.
All right, continue. I'll keep sprinkling some
All right,
junior
fine,
songs
fine.
in as I think of them.
That's fine. I was thinking of Hank Williams Jr. songs too now. I'm like, I don't have any. On the weekend after the tour ended, Poots is photographed backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, signing a motion picture deal with MGM Studios. So now he's going into the movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's also got television. He appears on the Perry Como show. Him and Perry Como saying, "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How about cooking something up with me?" You trying to flag down another beer?
No, my kids are
Oh.
cooking, and I'm worried that they're going to burn the house down.
Playing with fire, you're
Hey,
gonna burn the house
We're
down.
going to have some distractions during the COVID times here. We've all been in the house for a long time.
The Corona casts are slightly different, but I hope you guys can see that we're trying. 1951, Poots is trying too. He writes a really cool song called Ramblin' Man.
Yeah, I think Hank did that too. Hank Jr. did that, didn't he?
'Cause I'm a rambling man.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I'm a gambling.
Hank Williams and the
gambling
Silver Bullet
man. In November, in Franklin, Tennessee, while on a hunting trip with his fiddle player, Jerry Rivers, Little Mary Sunlight, Poots takes a spill. He falls down real hard. And that sort of reactivates all the old back pains. And he starts taking painkillers, including morphine. And he increases his alcohol to ease the pain.
So I told you how we're watching the Bugs Bunnies, right? We're also watching the Scooby-Doos.
Oh, nice. You saw Jerry Reed?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm stuck in this room. If I start singing, they'll come and find me. Little Mary Sunlight. She's all right.
That was from the
Little Mary
that one was from the series they did where they had like a celebrity come on, and Mama Cass, Jerry Reed, Don Knotts. We haven't got that.
the Three Stooges, the
Yeah,
Globetrotters.
The Globetrotters. Yeah, we'll get there.
I know you. You're Curly from the Harlem Globetrotters. What are you doing here? There's some freaky things going on in that amusement park. And like the Three Stooges would come up. Hey, you knuckleheads, what are you doing out here? He's like, we're just trying to camp in the woods, and all of a sudden there's a crazy log ghost who won't leave us alone. Yeah, and you're just like, what the hell crossover is this? They did Abbott and Costello. I mean, they're all there.
Well, I told you that there are. So it's the Boomerang Network. I think we've talked about this before. On the Boomerang Network, they are still doing crossovers with the WWE and Jetsons, like current crossovers.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I know, right? John Cena in cartoon form and this boy Elroy.
Yeah.
I haven't watched them. I don't know that I will.
Can you stop this crazy thing? What the Rock is on. Like, what?
The Rock was a very bad boy. Very bad. That's the maid. The robot maid.
Ah, gotcha.
All
Rosie.
Right, continue.
May 21st, 1951, Poots is admitted to North Louisiana Sanitarium for treatment for his alcoholism.
In a sanitarium. Okay.
He leaves 3 days later.
That was easy.
It's a quick study.
Nailed it.
Got it. December 13th, 1951, he has spinal fusion at Vanderbilt University Hospital. He is released on Christmas Eve. So hopefully that takes care of some of the aches and pains from when he fell with his fiddle player and when he like fell off the bowl and all that. You know, Vanderbilt's a good university. They probably have a good hospital.
Yeah, they've fused your spine together. He walks around like a robot.
Like Michael Keaton's Batman. 1952, Boots has a brief extramarital affair with a dancer, Bobby Jett.
She sounds hot.
Right? That's as far as I left it. I didn't even look. I'm like, yep, that chick's hot. Like dark hair, like raven black or something hair and just all. Anyway, they have a baby together. Jett Williams, born January 6, 1953.
Oh, took Dad's last name, huh?
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
That's where the money's at.
Right? She'll come back around later. I mean, not in the podcast, but she is currently trying to be singer of note or something, an artist of some type right now. So
hey, Sawbones, I'm just
children.
Carrying on that
no.
family tradition. There you go.
Nice. June 1952, Poots records Jambalaya on the Bayou, and then another song called Window Shopping and Setting the Woods on Fire. Not to make you think of your kids burning down your house right now.
Dude, if you could smell this house, it smells like something's burning in my kitchen.
Can you
Did you guys take out the fire alarm?
What Ben's kids are cooking?
It's a burned quesadilla.
Oh, nice.
I saw them
Burnt tortilla's the worst.
They're peeling it apart. Like,
yeah.
they're just, I just see this black quesadilla.
Dude, when I do tortillas, I've got like an old cast iron crepe pan. Well, and so I'll put a little bit of oil on it and I try it so it doesn't stick. But sometimes it sticks and burns.
I'm worried they're using my good cast iron pan, so I'm a little mother hen over here. Like,
oh yeah, no, just make sure you don't
wreck my cast iron pan.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to put that and get you more distracted. But here we are.
Seasoning on it. All right, here we go.
It takes a while, man. Get them lodge. Okay. He also puts out one last song in 1952 called I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive.
Yeah, that was a big one, too.
Foreshadowing. That same year, Poots and Audrey get a divorce. The next day, he hits the studio and records You Win Again and I Won't Be Home No More.
Huh. Sing about what you know, I guess, huh?
At this time, his physical appearance diminishes too. His hair begins falling out. He puts on like an extra 30 pounds. So it's kind of like a stay-in-place COVID thing.
Sounds like an Elvis story.
In late 1951, he suffers from a minor heart attack while visiting his sister in Florida. August 11, 1952, Poots is dismissed from the Grand Ole Opry for habitual drunkenness and missing shows.
He sounds like he liked to, knock back the old man's medicine a little bit.
He's a tippler, let me tell you. He returns to Shreveport, Louisiana, though, to perform on the radio. He's on 2 different radio station shows and the Louisiana Hayride, so he's still got... They don't give a shit, man. The Hayride's like, whatever, come sing when you want to. Whatever, bro.
I got some booze here. Come on, we'll sing. We'll get drunk. We'll sing.
I just have this, like, public access image in my head. We're like, yeah, we're just going to be here on Saturday and turn the cameras on. If you want to do something, that's cool. I mean, we're here.
It's like that UHF movie with Weird Al.
Drink from the fire.
Who wants to play Find the Marble? You're so stupid! Wheel of fish!
His performances, much like that show, were amazing when he was sober. And so, even with the best efforts of his crew, his band, and his friend, Poots finds a way to drink, though. He's always slipping it in here, pulling flasks out of his boot, just... constant drinking sort of takes away the performances. He even starts missing shows again. August 17th, 1952, Poots is arrested in Alexander City, Alabama at the Russell Hotel for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct.
So, he hasn't gotten in a ton of trouble with the law. He's done some bad things, but And he's also, it sounds like the only thing he really gets into much of is the booze.
Yeah, he's just a boozer, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the sad story of that. We got a quote from Chief Winfred Patterson, who was the arresting officer that day.
Winfred.
Winfred. Mr. Patterson said, Officer Patterson, Chief Patterson said, quote, more or less, he's having the DTs, the delirium tremors. He was running up and down the halls, yelling that someone was whipping old ladies, and he was going to stop him.
Well, if that was true, he should stop him.
Right. There's a famous photo. They call it the naked photo of Hank Williams Sr. He's not naked. He's just like not wearing a shirt. And that's pretty much from that night. Poots' buddy posts a $25 bond, pays a $10 fine, and Poots is released.
Wow. He's out $35.
Right?
That's a lot of booze money.
Right. You could have bought a couple of cases of beer for that. September 23rd, 1952. During his last recording session, he records Kaliga, K-A-W-L-I-G-A, Kaliga. It's an old Native American word, and it's actually a place that he used to go to when he went fishing and hunting and stuff. It's kind of by the place where he got arrested here up there in Louisiana. Anyway, he records Kaliga, Your Cheating Heart. Your cheating heart.
Oh, we got both kinds.
Take these chains from my heart, and I could never be ashamed of you. Records those songs in September of 52. The end of 1952, he starts having heart problems.
Sounds like he's been having heart problems for a while, though, now.
Well, yeah, but specifically at the end of 52, he starts having heart problems. He meets this guy, Horace, we call him Toby, Marshall, in Oklahoma City. This dude's like, I'm a doctor. Now, previously, Horace has been convicted of forgery, and he's been paroled and released from the state of Oklahoma. But he's like, I'm a doctor. And he said that he was a doctor of science, whatever that means.
Scientologist.
Well, maybe. And get those, not telomeres, those are real things. Whatever Scientologists measure to make sure that you got the Scientology gene. He purchased his DSC title for $25 from Chicago School of Applied Science, and the diploma he specifically requested that it be spelled out, quote, as Doctor of Science and Psychology.
Chloramidians.
Yes, midichlorians. Under the name Dr. C.W. Lemon, he prescribes Poots with amphetamines, Seconal, which is for insomnia, chlorohydrate, which is a sedative, and hypnotic pharmaceutical drugs, and morphine. All of which made his heart problems worse.
Sounds like he's quite a doctor.
He paid enough for it. He should be. December 19th,
Michael Jackson's doctor, by the way. I can't remember.
Sidebar. Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Michael Jackson's
No, I think
doctor.
that was the same doctor Michael Jackson had.
Yeah, I think it would have been.
Doctor to the
same
stars.
Qualifications. I went to medical school in the Bahamas, which is great. December 1952. There's a concert being held at the Skyline Club in Austin, Texas. Basically, this is the final concert you will hear Hank Williams Sr. Wednesday, December 31st, 1952. Poots is scheduled to perform in Charleston, West Virginia at the Municipal Auditorium. Advanced ticket sales totaled $3,500, which is $35,000 now. But because of an ice storm that day in Nashville, he couldn't get on a plane. So, what do you do if you can't fly?
Drive.
You drive. He hires a college student named Charles Carr. Funny enough.
The guy driving his last name's Carr.
Name is Carr.
That's like an ice cream guy with the last name of Cone.
I can't even. All right.
Mr. Bookman.
What do you do? I sell books. Charles and, well, it gets even better because, right? So now Charles called the Charleston Auditorium from Knoxville to say that him and Poots aren't going to arrive on time because of the ice storm. So Charles calls Charleston, says that him and his car can't take the car to the car.
It's starting to sound like a Dr. Seuss book.
So what
I
they
got
say
stuck
then,
in West. You said this was in West Virginia. They're trying to get to.
Well, they're stuck in Nashville. Yeah, they're trying to get to Knoxville to, let me see here, West Virginia. You are correct. He's scheduled to perform in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah, they got like mountains and stuff there. I got stuck in a terrible, terrible blizzard that got national coverage because people were stranded on the expressway and stranded at like rest areas and stuff with families, and
Oh Lord.
it was
Seriously?
it was a terrible blizzard. We were leaving out of Charleston, going south, which was going up into the mountains to I can't remember Beckley, West Virginia. And I remember I pulled off the expressway. I mean, it went from raining to the worst snow I've ever seen, falling as fast as it can fall. No exits to turn around at on this little turnpike. Get to Beckley, pull off below the stoplight because nobody's down the roads. Because if I stopped, I was going to be stuck on the ramp. Pulled into
Can't
the
stop.
Holiday Inn.
We won't stop.
Pulled into the Holiday Inn. Immediately, the vehicle I was driving gets stuck in the parking lot, like not in a parking spot.
Oh.
Walk into the Holiday Inn, and we're like, "Do you still have our reservations?" And the lady's like, "You got the last 2 rooms. Here you go." I'm like, thanks.
They were full in a storm like that. You'd figure
Well,
they'd be like,
everybody got
nobody's been through
stranded
for hours.
Everybody was stranded in that town.
Sorry, Michelle.
The local grocery store's roof. I remember we're sitting and eating, and this dude comes over and he goes, "Yeah, the the Piggly Wiggly over there, the grocery store just collapsed." I'm like, serious? Like, yeah,
Wow, dude.
the National Guard had to come in and like get people out of it.
This is West Virginia?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Beckley, West Virginia.
I don't give them credit for having that much snow.
Well, I mean,
That's interesting.
It came and went in like, less than a week. But yeah, just a storm came in, dropped a shit ton of snow on top of the mountain, and left.
Wow.
All right, continue.
Wait, you got Charleston calling Charleston to get the car down from Knoxville up to West Virginia. And because of the ice storm, they can't do it. So everybody on the tour guys are like, you know what? Take them to Canton, Ohio for the New Year's Day show. See if you can get there instead of Knoxville. So they arrive in Knoxville.
What?
At yeah, exactly, right? At Andrew Johnson Hotel. There.
Is that a competitor of the Howard Johnson?
It's his little brother. There, Charles gets a doctor for Poots. He's like, this guy's really starting to feel a combination of that chloral hydrate and the alcohol we had on the drive, so we might want to check him out. So Dr. P.H. Cardwell injects him with 2 shots of vitamin B12, which each contained a 1/4 grain of morphine.
Of course, that's to kick it into gear quick.
Well, yeah, it's
going.
like, how do you get to a town in an ice storm and then find that doctor? Like, you know what I mean? You're like, come on.
I got just the thing, a hypodermic needle.
Like, they're just people who know people everywhere you go, right? So, all right, Charles and Poots check into the hotel. The bellboys actually carry Poots to the car, or from the car, right? And so he's coughing and hiccuping. It's a Happy New Year! It's midnight on Thursday, January 1st, 1953. So they're driving from Knoxville to Ohio, right? They arrive in Bristol, Virginia. So this trip is not going at all the way they planned.
Huh. They need a
They
map.
just keep getting shut down. Well, they keep getting shut down, right? They're like, no, don't go there. No, go there. So Charles, car in the car, which is Cadillac, stops at a small all-night diner restaurant and asks Poots, he's like, man, you hungry? And Poots says he doesn't want anything. He's like, no, I'm good. And those are believed to be his last words.
Ooh.
So Charles drives on until he stops at a gas station in Oak Hill, West Virginia. And that's where he realizes Poots is dead.
Just
rigor mortis is set in. The fill-in station owner calls the chief of police, and the police find empty beer cans and some unfinished handwritten lyrics and a dead guy formerly known as Hank Williams Sr.
So that was in 53?
Yep.
So he hit the stage kind of, you said, in 41.
Right.
He didn't have he played a lot of music before 41, but that's when he started to really get a stride.
The road shows.
Yeah, he didn't have
Yeah.
live hard,
Nope,
leave a
he was
good-looking
not.
corpse, I guess.
That's the man. So Dr. Ivan Maleninin performs the autopsy. He finds hemorrhages in the heart and neck and pronounces the cause of death as, quote, insufficiency of the right ventricle of the heart.
He had a heart. His heart. It went bad. It's bad heart.
Probably exploded. It either stopped or it went the other way. Yeah, it was too much or not enough. So that evening, the announcer at the Canton show announces that Poots has died. The crowd starts laughing, thinking that it's like one of the, he's just drunk again and stuff like that. So people in the show, Hawkshaw Hawkins and other performers started singing, I saw the light They're doing that like as a tribute, and then the crowd is like, "Oh shit, he's actually dead."
You meant
And
it.
then
He is dead.
they started singing along. So the doctor also wrote a note that Poots had been severely beaten and kicked in the groin recently.
Really?
It's what it said in the doctor's note.
Apparently, when they carried him in and out of the car, that bellboy might have dropped him on like a fire hydrant or something.
Here, just prop him on the fence real quick. Just one leg over, another leg over. Not in the middle.
Another
Oh.
bull riding accident.
So, maybe it was a long-term bull riding accident. You might be right.
Yeah.
So, local magistrate Virgil Lyons orders an inquest into Poots' death because he's concerned about there's a giant welt that's visible on his head too. So, what the hell happened in that car ride, Car?
Did Carr beat him up?
I don't think so. I think he was just, like if you lose consciousness and you're, I don't know, 6 feet tall, there's some equation, like you hit the ground at like 30 miles an hour. So, like your head does.
He just
So
drunk.
if he was sitting there and leaning
drunk
right, and he just
stumble bum.
wobbled, or if it was like the car is sliding on the snow and he just whipped his head into the window or in the side or something, like a pillar or whatever in the car. I don't know. But Friday, January 2nd, 1953, I do know his body is transported to Montgomery, Alabama, placed in a silver coffin. Second place, not gold, not gaudy. Shown at his mother's boarding house for a couple days, and the actual funeral takes place on Sunday, January 4th at the Montgomery Auditorium. It's got flowers covering the stage. An estimated 15,000 to 25,000 people pass by his coffin.
Wow. His mom was still alive then, huh?
Yep,
Okay.
looks like it.
All right.
The auditorium's got 2,750 mourners in it. His funeral is said to be the larger than any other funeral of any other citizen of Alabama and the largest event ever held in Montgomery, Alabama history. And Poots' remains are interred at Oakwood Annex in Montgomery, Alabama.
Huh. Okay. I guess Alabama's not that big of a state population-wise, so that is a lot of
Yep.
people. Yeah,
A
absolutely.
lot of people, man. His final single was released back in November of 52 when he was still alive. And that was the one I told you before. It's called I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive.
Well, none of us will.
Way to call it.
Yeah.
Late January 1953, Your Cheatin' Heart is released. The song reaches #1 on the country charts, stays there for 6 weeks. It was the title song for the 1964 biographical film of the same name, Your Cheatin' Heart, which stars George Hamilton.
George Hamilton. Okay, I'm having a tough time picturing him. Actor.
The actor kind of looks like a baseball glove, famous for being tan.
Kind of looks
White
like
guy.
a baseball glove.
Oh, dude, he is so fake tan. Like, he's bronzered up, dude. Like, Jersey Shore plus. Like, Snooki plus JWoww plus Pauly D. Like, he is
Plus
super
Donald
bronzer.
Trump. Cool.
You would know. Yeah, well, that's kind of more Agent Orange, but I'm with you. April 1953, Take These Chains From My Heart is released. It goes to #1 on the country charts. I Won't Be Home No More is released in July. It hits #3. Weary Blues from Waitin', written by Ray Price, but sung by Hank Williams Sr. by Poots here. It goes to #7. Poots is widely recognized as the king of country music. We're going to get into some fun awards here. Alabama governor officially proclaimed September 21st Hank Williams Day, not Hank Williams Jr. Poots has 11 #1 country hits. He has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's inducted to the Country Music Hall of Fame. The National Organization of CB Truck Drivers voted Your Cheatin' Heart is their favorite record of all time.
See, there's an organization of CB truck drivers.
Yes, there are.
All right.
Only people who deliver CBs and their trucks are allowed to join. He's inducted to the Alabama Music Hall of Fame. He's inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame under the Early Influence category. He's ranked 2nd in Country Music Television's 40 Greatest Men of Country Music, only behind Johnny Cash. Rolling Stone ranks him number 47 on the list of 100 greatest artists of all time. Lovesick Blues is inducted into the Recording Academy Grammy Hall of Fame. He is voted most popular country western performer of all time. And to top it all off, this freaking guy, April 12th, 2010, the Pulitzer Prize Board awards Poots a posthumous special citation. It pays tribute to, quote, craftsmanship as a songwriter who expressed universal feelings with poignant simplicity and played a pivotal role in transforming country music into a major musical and cultural force in American life. That was one of the hints at the beginning. He won a Pulitzer Prize and he's friggin' dead.
Yeah, well, I guess they finally got around to reading his lyrics, huh?
And as we do, we end the show with a quote from Hank Williams Sr. himself. Quote, There ain't nobody I'd rather have alongside me in a fight than my mama with a broken bottle in her hand. Hank Williams Sr., everybody!
Woo!
Woo!
All right.
Well, how'd you like that one?
That's a big name. I like them big names. I hear a few things I kind of knew or didn't know. It's kind of it sheds a little bit more light into him.
Right.
He wasn't the notorious crime syndicate, killing everybody, running drugs, prostitution. He got into his fair share of altercation with the law, but yeah, I mean, I wonder two things. If he, let's say, didn't have his addiction to the booze, would he had ever been famous? I mean, was that a driving force in his life to make some of the songs that he had? Or would he have done even better, even bigger, gone even longer? You know, it kind of makes you think, is it it's the chicken and the egg?
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to have half of it, but just the other half, I don't know, wasn't there, you know?
Yeah, and also, if you do have that blazing flash coming through and you're doing great for, those first 5-10 years, and then you die, your legacy is left at its pinnacle, at its peak, at its best. Unlike some other artists that they blaze through, and then next thing you know, they're doing home improvement shows on A&E, Rob Van Winkle style.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of Daryl Hall or whatever it is, like Hanging with Hall or something like that.
No, I was making fun of Vanilla Ice. I mean, he had Vanilla Ice, a big, huge song, and then next thing you know, he's stealing a generator from the house across the street from his fixer-upper he's doing.
I forgot about that. You are correct.
So, die young and leave a good-looking corpse.
Well, nice. All right.
I wonder how old his son was, because I bet you could do another episode on Hank Williams Jr.
Oh no, that's coming. That's down the pipe here in some of our Hank Williams Sr. Knowledge.
Because honestly, that's probably the Hank Williams that I've heard more songs from. We played some of his stuff on the Git fiddle, and had
absolutely.
Had a good time drinking and singing along to that stuff when it'd come on at the bar.
I got a Hank Williams song or two, in my repertoire of songs and covers. That's the thing. That's why I can't play half the songs I've ever played because they're all covers.
And I have gone to his concerts before at the Pine Knobs. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
so, yeah. We'll get there.
We will. We'll get there. All right. Speaking of getting there, I got another more bit of feedback here for you. Feedback.
I can't hear
I'm the only one who can hear it. Don't you love it?
I can't hear it. I love it.
All right. There you go. All right. With the feedback, we've got one from, do you remember Ike Turner? Icky Renrut?
Yeah, Ike.
All right. We got one on our YouTube on our Ike Turner thing from Blue Sugar 58 says, Ike released a few singles under the anagram Icky Renrut because he was still under contract with Sun Records and he didn't want to cause friction with Sam Phillips. And also he tells us Ike and Tina were married in 1962, 2 years after A Fool in Love was released. Ike was married many times. Ike says 14 times he was married. But he had his faults, but he had good attributes too. He took care of a lot of people and a lot of musicians. He helped a lot of musicians become successful. So that's a thumbs up here and a like for Blues Sugar 58. And then we got one on Giuseppe Tartini, The Devil Is My Dream Guy, from Exemer Tracks. Sub to me, says, you're so nice, you're so friendly. Can we be friends? Absolutely we can be friends.
New friends.
I love friends all the day long. So friends it is, everybody. If you want to leave some feedback, hit us up everywhere you get your podcasts. If they let you leave reviews, go to Apple iTunes and leave a review for us on the podcast thing. That would be great. We haven't done that in a while. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all Crime and Music. Go to crimeandmusic.com and leave a speak pipe. We haven't played a speak pipe in a long time. Well, we haven't because usually you and I bug people at like social gatherings to leave speak pipes right there. Haven't seen people in a while, so it's what we do.
Hey, and I do want to shout out to any of our folks that leave nice, fun, dumb, funny, interesting comments out there.
Oh, but who was the best?
Who was the guy that left the Ike Turner comment? What was his name?
Sugar Shack
Blue
something 58.
Yeah. Thank you. That was cool. Now that sounds like somebody that knows something about that. It ain't hard to know more about a subject than we know. I mean, it's not like we're deep in the streets of Ike Turner. But it's good to hear that side of it too. He helped a lot of people. He was out there creating celebrities, creating musicians, getting people their shot at the big stage. I mean, we know
That's
about
true.
his terrible stuff. But 14 marriages, seriously?
Why would you want to do that
Dude.
more than once?
What kind of a sadist is this guy?
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying anything bad. I don't wish any ill will, but I mean, like, you're not doing this again, right? If somehow your marriage is an option for you.
I mean, maybe after the third one, you're just like, maybe I'm not the
Whatever.
marrying type.
Right. Like, they've already got all my money. I signed away all my royalties. Yeah, sure, we're married. Whatever. So,
All right.
well, there you go. All right, everybody. Since we're talking about multiple marriages, that's my cue to hit the music and get the heck out of here for another day. If you have any suggestions, I will tell you right now. We did this Hank Williams Sr. because someone said, do more country artists. So I did. If you have suggestions, like I said, go to all those places and leave them. And like the song says, never trust a big butt and a smile.
Don't trust 14 of them.